Welcome, brave souls, to Fear File Chronicles, your one-way ticket to spine-chilling stories and terrifying tales. Tonight, we'll be diving into the darkest corners of the human mind with the story, Let All Mortal Flesh Keep Silence. Part 2, penned by the twisted mind of Oh No behind you. Together, we'll explore the unexplained and face our deepest fears. But before we begin, if you enjoy trembling in terror, be sure to hit that like button, share this video with your fellow fear fanatics, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click the bell notification so you never miss an eerie episode. Your support truly means the world to us, so feel free to leave a comment below to join the Fear File Chronicles community. Now, without further ado, let's unravel the mysteries of the unknown together as we delve into tonight's fear-inducing story. Let All Mortal Flesh Keep Silence. Part 2. Dim the lights and prepare yourself for a chilling journey into the Fear File Chronicles. Sunlight snuck through the sides of the curtains. Cold permeated through my body. I had never gotten under the covers, and the hotel had the AC unit on. When I got up to use the bathroom, the waterworks were still unremarkable. I opened the window curtains to a city that looked normal. No crows lay dead on the window ledge here. Part of me wanted to stay at the hotel. Standing in that rented room, staring at a city, basking in sunlight, I felt a sense of peace that had gone since I took Franklin's call. I knew I had to go back, though. Most of my equipment was back at the apartment, and since hotel rooms aren't free, a guy has to work. It was a decent distance from the hotel to my place. Sure, I could have gotten a ride, but I walked. Even if I was facing the music, I didn't want to run at it. I didn't bother checking out of the hotel room. For all I knew, I would need it again that night. Hell, maybe I'd need it as soon as I saw the state of my apartment. When I got back to my building, the front door was open. Perhaps in my panic, I neglected to close it. As I stepped into the lobby, I heard voices upstairs. Not choral or distorted voices. It was my landlord talking to some woman. Each step gave a loud creak as I tried to sneak upstairs. When I reached the second floor, my landlord was talking to a young woman holding a baby.
And I don't want anyone else here. You're lucky this apartment was even open. I gave you the one the deadbeat kid didn't pay rent on. I could have given you the apartment downstairs. The old lady died in that one. This one is nicer. I'm doing you a favor.
Nobody will come here, I promise,
The young woman said.
I'm doing your mother a favor, too. She could have taken in her daughter and her grandson, but no. Instead, she leaves it to her brother.
I tried to get by without being a part of the exchange. But when I reached the bottom step to the next flight, my landlord called out to me.
Have you been out all night, Michael?
I cooked up a story quick. Yeah, I got called out on an emergency session. Client needed me to come down and take over. Other guy was unreliable.
Yeah, well, turn down your music before you go. When we came in, it was playing really loud. Not that heavy shit you listen to sometimes, but still loud. You need to keep it quiet here now. There are other people living here again.
That's strange. I had my stuff turned off when I left.
Well, it was playing when we came in this morning. I told the guy who came to visit you to turn it down when he got up there.
You let someone into my apartment?
Yeah, he said he knew you.
That doesn't mean I want you letting anyone into my apartment.
Listen, it's my building. I can do whatever the fuck I want with it. Sometimes.
He shot the girl a sour look and slammed the apartment door. My front door was open a crack when I got to the top of the stairs. I pushed it open, wondering what horrible thing I would see. Franklin was standing by my workstation, wearing my cans. Franklin. He didn't budge. Franklin. Nothing. I walked over to him and pulled the headphones away from his ears. Hearing that music again made my skin crawl. For a moment, he stood there as though I hadn't pulled my cans off of him.
Michael?
He sounded disconnected, almost like he had just woken up. Yeah, Franklin, did you get my call? Franklin stood there for a moment. It looked like he was contemplating the nature of my question.
Yeah.
He said in that same spacey tone.
Yes, I did.
And
And what?
we need to talk about that recording, man.
I didn't hear anything wrong with it. What's wrong with it?
Part of me was pissed he was being so laid back. Has anything happened here since you got here? Anything strange while I've been gone?
The only thing that seems kind of strange right now is you.
Listen, there's been a lot of crazy shit going on since I started listening to this thing, Franklin.
Like what?
Like what? I asked in a harsh tone. I stepped backwards towards the windows. For instance, last night, a crow flew into my window and brained itself. The thing broke its fucking neck. I looked at the window ledge, but the crow was gone. What the? I rushed past Franklin to look in the kitchen. No broken glass on the floor, no blood.
Is everything all right, Michael?
No, man. Nothing is all right. Last night there was... Franklin looked like he was having trouble following along. I'm sure I sounded like a lunatic, but he also looked dazed. Are you okay, Franklin?
Peachy keen.
He said. If I didn't know any better, Franklin was on something. That couldn't be the case, though, could it? He'd been sober for 3 years. What do you know about this recording?
It was recorded at the James Easton Performing Center, formerly the Church of Everlasting Life.
Anything else?
The church had good coffee and even better chili.
Franklin started laughing hysterically. I looked at him, now certain he must have relapsed the night before. About the recording, Franklin. Do you know anything about it? His expression grew serious, ugly even.
I know that you should be working on it. I know you should be doing your work. I know you should give me that baby.
At first, he had been looking in my eyes. Then it was like he was looking through me. What the fuck are you talking about? Then it was like Franklin snapped out of it all of a sudden.
Give me that mix and master baby. Listen, I have to go. Long night. If you need anything, let me know.
Before I could get anything out of him, he bolted out the door and down the stairs. I went to the doorway. The young woman was coming up the stairs. She had her baby in one arm, a grocery bag with dirty diapers in the other. Her eyes caught mine.
I'm so sorry. The garbage chute won't open on my floor.
That's okay, I said. It's not my personal garbage chute or anything. She smiled and sauntered over to the chute to drop the bag in. I heard the telltale landing down below. Before she could make it to the top step, there was a large thud against the chute's little door.
What the?
The young woman turned around, clutching the baby tight to her chest. I crept into the hallway, closing the front door behind me. There was another thud. Step back. Go downstairs. Carefully, I said in a whisper. She nodded and made her way down the stairs quietly. My hands fumbled through my pocket to grab my phone. After battling with my keys and tissue, I managed to get it out. I heard a thud. I took a cautious step forward. My thumb hovered over the flashlight icon on my phone. Another step closer. What the hell was I thinking? I should have been running to the hotel right now. Downstairs, it sounded like the mother and child were holding their breath. I was about 2 feet away from the chute when I saw my phone had gone dark. My thumb tapped the screen. Before I could take another step forward, the chute flew open. Something black shot out and down the stairs. The young woman screamed. When I saw what landed by her feet, my blood went cold. Sitting at the young woman's feet was a crow. Its head bent to the side like its neck had been broken. Since the last time I saw it, it had clearly been sustenance for something else. Parts of its feathers and flesh had been eaten away. Eyes gone. Its sockets were grim evidence of some insect feast. The young woman turned her head away and groaned. She was simply repulsed by the crow. I was terrified of it. I'll take care of it, I said. I looked around for anything that I could scoop it up with. At the front end of the first floor lobby, I could see a snow shovel. Lucky for me, my landlord never put stuff like that away for summer. Be right back. I ran down the stairs to grab the shovel, then bounded up the stairs again. Okay. I lowered the shovel down to pick the damn thing up. As I started to scoop beneath its wing, There was a cracking noise. The crow's head sort of snapped back into place, but not completely. All of a sudden, the horrible thing stood up and let out a deafening screech. The baby woke immediately and started to wail. This was like a cue for the crow to take flight. It spread its tattered black wings and flew to the baby's level. It tried to pierce the child with its beak, but his mother turned her back to it. She screamed. She had taken the jab for her child, but the crow was quick to pull its beak from her flesh and try again. The young woman tried swatting at the horrid creature as her baby wailed in her ear. I wanted to hit the crow with the shovel, but I couldn't get a good enough shot to avoid hurting the baby or its mother. Blood was oozing out of the wound on her back. The crow swiped a claw at her neck, its beak missing its target. Out of instinct, she ducked down, holding out her arm in an attempt to swat the thing away from her child. Finally, I had a decent shot. The shovel connected with a loud thwack, the impact hurtling the crow down towards the first floor. It tried flying up the stairs again, letting out another blood-curdling caw. I managed to bring the shovel down on it. The crow tumbled down the stairs. I ran down as it started to get back up again. Clangs rang out as I kept hammering the shovel onto the tiled floor in the lobby. After enough swings, the clangs were accompanied by a squishing sound. Entrails were all that really remained of the crow. Panting, I made my way up the stairs to find something to put the remains in. As I reached the top of the stairs, the baby was sobbing, but otherwise okay. Its mother, on the other hand, had lost a decent amount of blood. "Holy shit," I said. "We need to call you an ambulance."
No!
"What do you mean, no?"
No. If we call an ambulance, my uncle will find out. He will throw us out.
Surely he wouldn't.
You don't know him like I do.
This was true, but I knew well enough that my landlord was an asshole. He wasn't the type to have friends or allies. More likely, he held an uneasy truce with everyone he wasn't on bad terms with. All right, but we need to get you to a hospital.
I know a place I can go. Please stay with Daniel until I get back.
Who? The woman held out the baby to me.
I'm Maria, and this is my son Daniel.
Whoa, listen. I want to help, but I'm not exactly good with.
Please, just until I get back.
There was a deep sadness in her eyes. She had brought some beauty into the world, and now it seemed she was paying the price for it. Okay, I'll take care of him. Her eyes welled with tears.
Thank you.
She wrapped a towel around her shoulder, then put on a coat too heavy for this time of year. As Maria reached the door, she looked back at her son, smiled, then left. I sat down on a folding chair, facing the front door. Maria had managed to calm Daniel down before she left, fortunately. The baby lay sleeping in my arms. The day dragged on and the shadows started to get long. Signs began to light up, inviting customers to come inside and join the nightlife. Maria came through the door around 9 p.m. "Are you all right?"
Yeah, they have me all patched up. Is he asleep?
"He has been since you left. Thank God." "I don't do diapers." Maria laughed.
No time to learn like the present.
"I already have to clean this up," I said, nodding to what was once a crow. Her smile dimmed a little.
Well, thank you for taking care of him. Thank you for everything.
"You're welcome. Now get upstairs. You've had a long day and you need to rest. I'll take care of everything down here." I handed the baby back to his mother.
It's Michael, right? Well, good night, Michael.
"Good night, Maria. Good night, Daniel." I said the first, whispered the second. They made their way up the stairs and closed their door. When they were out of earshot, I let out a sigh. I cleaned up the crow and chucked it in a bin outside. After locking the lobby door, I started towards the stairs. I stopped when I noticed the door to the first floor apartment was open. It had been closed all day. There was a figure standing. No, hovering in the doorway.
"You can't leave Michael."
My heart started to race, the beat in my ears. The voice was somewhat wheezy and had a polyphonic quality to it.
"You can't leave this place. Not yet, Michael."
Against my better nature, I looked at the figure. I couldn't make out facial features, but the basic shape reminded me of my neighbor, June O'Hara. June was found dead in her first-floor apartment 6 months before. I'd been the only tenant in the building ever since.
I know you want to run back to that hotel. But Michael, you can't leave. Not yet.
Oh yeah? I said in a quivering tone. You can't hold me here. I stepped towards the lobby door and unlocked it. When I put a foot outside, the shape spoke again.
Please.
The word gave me pause. I brought my foot back in and closed the door.
You can't leave, Michael. You are a good man, and you were always a kind neighbor. You helped me in so many ways. Don't go now, I beg you.
Listen, Mrs. O'Hara, if that's really you, I don't know how to put this. I don't think there's anything I can do for you now. You've passed on.
Not for me, Michael. For them, the woman and her child. You have to stay. Please, don't go to the hotel.
Why?
Because there is a darkness here, Michael. You know it's true. A darkness that came the moment that music played.
The spirit spoke with conviction, but her voice sounded like it was halfway between worlds.
This dark spirit calls itself Reverend, though its ways are not the way of God. The hymn may be its music, but blasphemy is its nature. Once it was a mere man, but in death, hatred has made it powerful. It was dormant, but now it is awake.
What does that have to do with me?
Because it will come for all of you. The crow, the music, the blood. It's playing with you. But it won't stop there. This spirit can do as it pleases. It can come and go, connive and control. These tricks are just a taste of what it's capable of. It is already setting things in motion. If you leave now, that mother and child could be dead by first light. It wants the baby most, but it also wants the mother. And even if you leave tonight, it will probably find you too.
What can I do?
That I can't say. I used what little strength I had to warn you tonight. I'm not like this, Reverend. I can't come back again. But you have to stay vigilant, Michael. You have to stay alert. Just stay.
The form started to evaporate. June. She was gone. I stood there in the darkness. The light from the signs outside invited me to escape. These people weren't my responsibility. Hours ago, they were strangers. I was desperate to leave, but June O'Hara's pleas had struck a chord. What could I do against an evil spirit? I didn't have an answer, but I knew that it couldn't hurt Maria and Daniel if I stuck around. After some contemplation, I locked the door. Before heading upstairs, I grabbed the snow shovel and tapped the flashlight icon on my cell phone. I stopped by Maria's door. Nobody stirred. When I got to my floor, I closed the garbage chute. I went into my apartment, peering at what the flashlight revealed. It all seemed fine, but I dared not let my guard down. My phone started to ring. I picked it up. "Hello?" I said. I tried my best to keep my voice from trembling. There was no answer. "Hello? Who is this?" There was a huge gasp, like a group taking a collective breath.
Let all mortal flesh keep silence, and with fear and trembling stand.
I fumbled to get the battery out of my phone. With the shovel in hand, I found the flashlight in my kitchen. I made my way into the living room and sat on the floor with my back against the wall. Cowering in the dark, I gripped the snow shovel white-knuckled tight. The flashlight cut a slim sliver of light in the darkness. Tears rolled down my cheeks the way they had as a child. I prayed to God, to my grandma, to June O'Hara, and anyone else that would hear me. Hopefully, Maria, Daniel, and I wouldn't become ghosts in this place too. Maybe tomorrow there would be safety. If nothing else, I would try to find answers. Like a kid, I told myself, the morning would bring something good. Once again, I fell asleep, not knowing if I was lying to myself. Well, my friends, we've reached the end of tonight's chilling tale. Let all mortal flesh keep silence. Part 2. By the talented Oh No behind you. I hope you've enjoyed our descent into darkness, and that you'll carry a piece of the Fear File Chronicles with you as you drift into uneasy dreams. If our story left you shivering and shaking, don't forget to like this video, share it with others who crave a good scare, and subscribe to the Fear File Chronicles for more haunting horrors. Remember to hit the bell notification so you're always among the first to know when a new nightmare awaits. As always, we appreciate your support and would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Sharing your fears and frights with us truly means a lot, so don't be shy to engage with our sinister community. Until next time, remember to embrace the darkness, for it is within the shadows that our most terrifying stories are born. Good night, and stay scared.